The Triumvirate programme was developed by the West Midlands Leadership Academy, and the North East Leadership Academy decided that it would be something really useful to introduce to primary care on the patch. So it's based on bringing together 3 members of primary care, whether that's a GP, practice nurse, practice manager, to go through a 6-month period of leadership development.
To bring together primary care leaders who sometimes would work together but didn't really get to know each other.
I think it would have taken us 10 years to get to the point because of the limited contact. You get lots of email contact. I would never have been stood up on Friday presenting this had it not been for the point that I got to with the relationships with those people.
I have to admit, on day one I was quite sceptical about this. I thought that my leadership style has probably never let me down before. I didn't want to be kind of sat around a table where I was being taught things that I already knew. However, I actually found out that I maybe wasn't who I thought I was, or maybe I didn't come across to people how I thought I did. That I was a rescuer, and my leadership style was very much giving people the answers to their problems rather than trying to coach them to try and figure their problems out themselves.
Maybe we have to change as leaders and understand ourselves before we can start influencing change. So I've seen that, I've seen the journey, I've seen people who were really quiet on day one who stood up today confidently and had a story to tell, and that was nice to see.
The de Bono hats were just absolutely amazing at, sort of getting you to think differently in meetings rather than just having a long-standing waffle about, it was having some structure to work with.
The disc profiling as well, really understanding who I was and that it was okay to feel like that, or it was okay to act differently in certain circumstances, was really, really powerful. And also allowing a bit of creativity. I think if you're a creative in a pharmacy role, I think it's kind of suppressed a bit because you think, well, I can't have too much flair in this kind of job. It doesn't really look good, but actually you can bring it out. And there will be some people within your team who will have that bit of creativity, who will be able to think a little bit differently, present it differently, and the opportunity not to have to stand up and do a PowerPoint can be really, really beneficial as well.
The best thing about Triumvirate was obviously the time out, time to think. But also the shared learning and realising that the bumpy road, the rocky road if you like, is the norm, and not to be too fazed by that, not to get too stressed about it.
In the past we've gone with a project because someone thought it was a good idea.
Yeah, with no thought.
With no thought at all. So now we're actually deliberately, or not quite, but literally putting on the hat and thinking about actually what does that mean? What does that mean to patients? How do we feel about that? The negatives and the positives, so that we can actually make a really informed decision rather than, that sounds like a good idea, let's try it.
It extends to all aspects of the practice, so that it has affected a lot of change in practice.
With a sense of exploration and with curiosity to find out what could be different and how things could improve.
We've got to the point where my nurse practitioner started on Monday, is quite happy, knows the expectation, inductions are done, so Monday morning 8 o'clock she starts the home visiting scheme on Chesley Street.
I wasn't aware of what potential there actually was out in primary care, and it was holding some space, and it's blossomed.